ourselves. I want to talk about the Cavs. First off, I guess this could be a two-part segment. The first part, I want to talk about Craig Porter Jr. and Imani Bates. Craig Porter Jr. and Imani Bates are both steals. Specifically, Craig Porter Jr. out of Wichita State. The man dropped 10 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, and a block. And let me remind you, Henry, correct me if I'm wrong, Craig Porter's my height, right? 6'1", 6'2"?
I think he's 6'3".
6'3", okay. An inch taller than me.
6'1" listed on ESPN.
6'1" listed on ESPN? Okay, so he's my fucking height. He blocked. Who did he block last night, dude? Was it Julius Randle or Mitchell Robinson? Randle. Craig Porter in the paint. Like, not a three-point shot. No, in the paint, he blocked, like, jumping up. Okay? Craig Porter Jr. might be, like, the next best basketball player out of Wichita State since Fred VanVleet. No cap. Great basketball program. Well, do we count Austin Reeves as a Wichita State kid, or do we count him as an Oklahoma kid?
He's an Oklahoma guy.
Oklahoma guy? Okay. So, Craig Porter Jr., freaking, I can't believe that. I like to think that I keep myself up to date with the guys coming out of the NBA draft, especially the undrafted guys. But this guy slipped through the wires, and I didn't find out about him until Summer League. And my God, was he fantastic Summer League. Got himself a two-way. Henry, what is your thoughts on Craig Porter Jr. as well? Imani Bates put up 9 points and 6 rebounds against the Knicks. Both of these guys are on two-way contracts, and they're looking like they could be, by the end of this season or by next year, be converted to multi-year standard NBA contracts.
I think that he is.
Who's he?
Need to find a niche offensively still.
Who's he?
He consumes too many possessions. He's not going to be this high to a guard. Like, I think he's a little tunnel visioned at times.
Is this Craig Porter or Imani?
But, I mean, he averaged 3 stocks, 3 steals plus blocks per game last year in college. So, like, he is a defensive playmaker. And, like, Derek White-esque ability to protect the rim as a guard. Like, you're talking about how he blocked Julius Randle, but he is, like, a feisty interior defender. Like, of that ilk, you know. So, I'm very fond of him. Amani's Amani. He's a 6'9" shot maker. Like, if he can hit threes at a league average level, he's gonna be able to stay on the court. Because I think he really just, like, can slot into the flow of an offense. So I'm high on both to eventually carve out like end of bench rotation roles. And, like, they're the dudes who can really support a team with title aspirations. So I think that if Cleveland's core they have an interesting, like, they have interesting depth for me in Cleveland, which is, like, a good sign.
I agree with that. Well said. And I think, you know, Cleveland has shown they've done a great job at evaluating talent, especially at the margins. Lamar Stevens, Dean Wade, to, you know, examples of guys that they've been able to just discover. And Craig Porter and Imani Bates, same thing. I could see both of these guys in a redraft being considered first-round picks in 5 years. Now, Jackson, what are your thoughts on Craig Porter Jr. and Imani Bates? I'm pretty sure you were pretty high on Imani Bates this summer.
First round draft pick, baby. Imani Bates is a great basketball player. He's a walking bucket. He killed it, especially in preseason, summer league. And, yeah, I agree with Henry. I think both of them will carve out a role by the end of the season. They need it. I know, like, Dean Wade's cool, but, like, Dean Wade's, I mean, we've been doing this for a couple of years now. Need to get a little bit better.
I think he's good. I just think he's more of a guy you want at the bottom of the bench than in your rotation.
Yeah, I'd ideally like to get Imani in that starting lineup as opposed to Dean Wade when, you know, he fully ascends. But that's not. I don't mean to throw shade at Dean Wade. And I know they're, like, banged up severely, but
yeah, Imani's gonna have to grow a lot as a defender to ever start.
I think it's a lot of it's effort base. Now, let's go over here and talk about the next segment that is connected with the Cavs. Cavs are 1-3. Should they be worried? I personally think no, they're not healthy at all. This team to start the year is banged up. We know what they are for the last 2 years. They've been a solid squad. Yeah, last 2 years since Evan Mobley's been there. I feel like they're a solid defensive squad. We know that. And once they're at 100%, I still think this is a top 6 seed in the East. But should there be a worry about the Cavs shooting? Like, does this team not look any better than they were last year? What are your guys' thoughts on that? Should the Cavs be worried or not? Don't be afraid to speak.
I don't know if worried's the right word.
Yeah, I'm kind of struggling with this as well because I'm not worried, but at the same time, they need to be a top 3 or 4 seed in the East if they're going to make any noise in the playoffs. Otherwise, they will not be able to run the gauntlet. So
They can't score though, dude. Like they need to move Struz. I don't know, like Struz to the bench or something. Like I don't know. Like it's weird. They still have this like weird inept offensive droughts they go through, where for having Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell on your team, and I know what didn't Darius miss how many games now? Did he miss 1 or 2 games so far?
yeah, at least 2.
At least 2. So I know that's a big factor of it. And Ricky Rubio, he ended up missing the start of the year. We don't even know. They don't have a backup point guard. They legit. I don't get why they're not playing Ty Jerome. And I just feel, huh? What'd you say?
Ty Jerome is hurt as well.
Oh, Ty Jerome's hurt as well. Okay, so they don't have a backup point guard at this point. I think that's a problem. I just there's this offensive struggle. I don't know. What would you guys say? What do the Cavs need to improve? I don't think there's any cohesion on offense. There's like a direction. They're not like a pick and roll dominant team. They're not a 3-point like driving kick, type thing. Like they don't have an identity on offense, and that's I think the frustrating part. And I think that's because JB Bickerstaff isn't the most imaginative coach on offense. What do you guys think?
I think it's got to be DG. DG's only played 1 game this year. I mean, if he can give me what he did last year, 22-8, and they get healthy, I think they'll be fine. But I mean, I think this is a huge year for Darius Garland because stats are nice, but I need wins. Mitchell's gone soon, and I think that's in the best interest for Cleveland. But Mitchell is my number 1. I know my team's not going very far. I know a lot of Cavs fans that won't like that statement and believe in Donovan Mitchell and it, try and get kind of like not a Steph and Clay because they're all completely different players. But, I think Mitchell and DG have to be one of the best backcourts in the NBA in order for them to be a relevant championship level team. And they're just not there yet. So I'm hopeful for Mobley, but I don't think Mobley will be an offensive star, and I don't need him to. I just need these guys to play their role, but I know Mitchell's banged up, and I need DG to return, and we can go from there, but I don't think we'll know by like 30 games for this Cavs team if they have enough. I don't think they have enough, but DG could become that dude. Showed a lot of flashes last year.
Well, and the Mobley thing is holding them back to having like a super, super dynamic offense. Cyro, your point about like what are they gonna run? Like what is this like offense spread?
There's no creativity. How are you gonna beat the best teams? Like in a duel. Okay. How are you you have 2 like Evan Mobley so far hasn't taken it. Doesn't look like it so far through 4 games. Hasn't taken that offensive step. He's not looking like Kevin Garnett. Like, where is this? Are we going to be a team that runs a lot of pick and rolls and then feeds the shooters out of that? Are we going to be a team doing a lot of, half-court offensive motions where we're going to have high screens at the top of the key and, create motions for the shooters out there? Like, what are we doing? There's no idea, like what type of team this is. Is this an inside-out team? Is this an outside team? Okay, like, I don't know what the offensive, like, it seems like give the ball to DG, give the ball to Donovan Mitchell. Hopefully they make something happen. If not, they'll dump it off to one of you guys and just shoot it at the end of the shot clock. Cool.
So I would imagine that this offense is going to hit its peak when you can have Darius Garland and Mobley Allen pick and roll with Donovan Mitchell as on your like second side. So you are either going to be able to create an advantage in the pick and roll or kick to Mitchell, who could then punish like the rotation, punish the defense having to worry about the pick and roll. So you have that, or you have shooters, right? So it can be a pick and roll offense, and I think it can be a good one. I'm also wondering if maybe they should play at a really slow tempo. Since the defense is going to be good, maybe they should slow it down Virginia style and maximize their
I
possession.
feel like that's what they did. I feel like that's what they ran with last year. Like they're an efficient offense, but not a high scoring, high powered offense. I remember talking to Cyro about this a couple of weeks ago.
Well,
When I watch the Cavs, like they don't pass my eye test. Like it just looks uncomfortable. Like it just does not look like it's when their starting five is healthy and they're out there on the court. Like it just doesn't. I know they're a good team. They're not a bad team. They're one of the better teams. They're a top 10 team in the NBA. But when I look at it with my eyes, I'm like, this just won't get you far. You know, this isn't the future of the Cavs here.
yeah,
I would almost be interested because I don't think Allen lasts too long in Cleveland. I'd be very curious what post Mitchell and post Allen life looks like. But imagine they had like a cat. You know, it's like a DG Mobley, a cat. You know, player of that caliber, like a DeFrozen. You know, somebody else. Because Mitchell's gone, and I think that's in everybody's best interest. But
you're fully part of the Donovan Mitchell's on his way out of Cleveland, like regardless of what
for
happens.
sure, I'm kind of surprised he went there in general.
Wow.
I mean, I don't. But like I said, for Cavs fans, I think that's in their best interest. I know Mitchell had that really good COVID year, but in the playoffs, I think they're better off with a different positional. I think they're better off with a different shooting guard and center eventually. But for now, they're still one of the best teams in the NBA, better teams.
If you had to say Donovan Mitchell, do you think he goes to New York, or I feel like he's the type of guy to tell the freaking Cavs, hey, I'm not going to stay, sign and trade me, kind of a la Chris Paul when he left the Clippers a few seasons ago to the Rockets. You remember? He was like, I don't want you guys to lose me for nothing, so here, just sign and trade me. I feel like he would do that. He's a nice guy like that. You don't think so? So are you saying the Cavs should be
That's
worried?
fine. It just doesn't matter. No.
Can Donovan Mitchell stay if they show that they can be title contenders?
Well, Mitchell's got to stay anyways. He's under contract for many more years.
I thought it's 2 more years only. This year, next year.
Yeah.
That's a lot of years.
Not really. That means he could be traded this offseason.
Looking at this in like
Two whole years.
in like a big picture, at least a 2-year window picture. Now I'm worried. I'm worried that we don't know what their identity is going to be, even when healthy, and that Mitchell might leave. That's it. We're worried about Cleveland.
Yeah.
I'm worried about Cleveland. You can lock it in.
So you're on the worried side?
I'm on the worried side. In the big picture, yeah.
All right. Can you download this picture I just uploaded to Box, Henry? It's the most recent one. It should be a tweet by RG3. Tell me when you have it on the screen. So,
Do you guys want to guess Cleveland's pace last year before we move on?
99,
Where in the league would that rank?
30th.
You are damn close. They were 30th.
I'm going dead last.
Yep, they were last, and it came in at 97.4.
You know why I knew this? Because I made a video on this like a month ago, and I remember this stat.
I didn't chose not to add that to my comment about what they should run.
Honestly, I didn't think that would have been a useful stat, but when you asked the pace, I did remember looking last year at the Cavs, and I couldn't believe that they were the slowest team in the NBA. But tell me when you got that tweet on there. It's 689CBFBB. So RG3 put out a tweet. I thought this was I think we do a little human interest on this show. I think people enjoy our little human interest pieces. And today, I was on my phone before the show. I saw this funny tweet. Henry, tell me when we're good. But this tweet's RG3. First off, RG3 is the funniest guy on ESPN. That guy is hilarious. That guy's a riot. Like, and seriously, once a show, he says something that like you cackle. And B, I want RG3 to come back to the NFL. Supposedly, he has offers every year, and I want him to have a Geno Smith-esque come back, and I believe it. I think he can do it. And I know this is a basketball show, so this is here nor there. I just need to segue into what we're about to have on the screen, Henry.